Roll call.
Here.
And Ms. Rice.
Here.
We have four.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is public comment. And we also have a section for public comment later in the agenda. But prior to this meeting, we've never had anyone else except Mr. Barnowski making public comment. So I'm going to limit public comment to about 3 minutes. And so just to keep us moving, and that will be for both the first public comment period and then the second public comment period. Do you want to move that way? If you can,
So do you want me to come?
yeah, come on ahead.
Hello, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Manette Menier, and I've been the Director of Elections for Georgetown since 2006. I've run 39 elections. We have a population of over 54,000. We have over 40,000 registered voters, and we have 17 precincts. In the November 2020 election, we had over 33,000 ballots voted with 19,000 absentee ballots. The reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to know that I'm one of the hands-on workers for elections at Georgetown. So throughout all these elections, we've learned that the most important key for us to have a successful election is to be prepared. And this is why I'm here today to ask you to help us in that regard. So the first step in the process is the precinct maps. And I've drawn two for Georgetown, at the 2010 and the 2021. And I'm real excited about the 2021 because we were able to follow all the school districts. So no precinct has more than one school district, which means they only have one ballot style. And this is something that we really appreciate because it limits an opportunity for error. And I know Justin appreciates that too, because it's less multiple programming. Okay, and I watched your meeting, and I know you talked about lines. And if you look at our map, you're going to think, oh my gosh, she's a crazy lady. The lines go all over the place. But there's a method to that, because we want to make it the best that it can be in the precinct. We want to have one school district, and that's why I'm coming to you to ask you to please follow our precinct lines, and that way we'd only have one county commission district per precinct as well. Because if there's two school districts or two county commissions, that's two ballot styles. And we have awesome workers, we train them, they do a good job, but you know, our staff issued over 18,000 absentee ballots. We had over 17,000 in person. And that's a lot, and that's a lot of opportunity for errors. So if you can help us right now at the beginning of this process to eliminate an opportunity for error, we would greatly appreciate it. I also want to make sure that I let you know that Georgetown is extremely grateful to Justin, because him and his staff give us great support, and we really appreciate it. He knows his stuff. We appreciate all the support. When we have a problem or we have a question, it's him we call or his staff. So I want to make sure that you all understand what a good job he's doing. Okay, I'm providing you with this background, a little bit of some of my history here and the things that we've done, so that you can understand where we are. And especially, I mean, we all know what's going on in our country today, and it's so important that we make sure that we do our elections right, and we try really hard to make sure that our elections are successful and are correct. So I'm asking you, please, to help us to have one ballot style per precinct. And the easy way to do that is to just follow the precinct lines. Not only for us, we have other people here from other municipalities as well. And I know they want the same thing. We all want to have a successful election. And this is one way that we can ask you to help us to not make mistakes with it. And then my second request to you is to please draw the county commission district so we don't have any more than two within the borders of Georgetown Township. I know I looked at one of your maps last time, and you had our western border connected with the western municipalities that went all the way to the lake shore. And I'd ask you to please let our residents be represented by the community to which they belong. I know you have a daunting job in front of you, and I just want to thank you for the opportunity to talk to you, and good luck with your job.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
really in public
I'm not-
comment,
not
there's
allowed
not
to.
a question answer, it's just kind of. So, yeah,
That's Justin.
yeah. So, okay, thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Manette.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to give public comment? And the drum roll, please, fabulous deputy clerk from Park Township.
I'm Danielle Dykens with Park Township. I'm the deputy clerk there. I've been there for about 15 years, almost 16. And I just want to echo Manette's comments. I'm not going to repeat everything that she said, but I just want to stand up here for all the other clerks that aren't here today and just agree with her and just make sure that we're limiting those things as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Okay, then we'll move on. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda? Did you say something, Justin?
So,
Oh.
sorry.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And then we're on to the approval of the minutes. You received the minutes, and are there any questions or concerns before we move on? If not, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Okay, and is there any support? Support. Thank you. Well, I'll ask for another period of discussion. If none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, now we're on to item number 6, which is discussion the member developed maps. And last time we looked at 3 maps, and I hear through the discussion that people have developed other maps and wondering if you wanted to present those. But first I should mention, we had a deadline for the public to submit a map for us, and the deadline is passed. That was October 18th at 5 p.m. No maps were submitted by the public. So just want to make a note for you on that. And probably, Sherry, that should be reflected in the minutes. So do we want to go and talk about new maps that you've developed? Okay, let's do that. Let's start with Mr. Fisher again.
Can I ask that one question that I was curious about
Of Justin?
of anybody? Last time, the district had, Georgetown was separated into 3, correct? There was some precincts way on the western end that actually went into Blendon.
I
Blended.
believe it was only 2. The current map, you mean, like
Yeah, the one
commissioner
that we've
existing
been-
map.
Was only
Yeah,
2? Okay,
It's just
All
District
right.
6 and 7.
all right, okay.
So Lee,
All right, well, I worked on a 4th map and then a 5th map. The 4th map is called PA Plan 4. And I don't know if we can pull that up.
Letting me share it on the screen.
I don't have it checked out.
this is the current districts.
I looked at it today and it looked like it was a chunk of it, so that's why I asked. Okay, thanks.
Can you, yeah, there we go. You drag the screen over.
Then it's not sharing here.
Is it sharing on your computer?
It's not sharing with the public. Normally you can hit this and you select it, and I don't know why it's not showing up here. Nothing else is.
But can we, if you've got a computer, you can get on. You said Plan 4A?
No, this would be Plan 4, and then I was going to share 4A as well.
Okay,
So it is not, it's not being shared on to the YouTube stream. Is that what you're saying, Katie?
Correct.
I'm gonna try to see if I can.
Normally, it comes up as an option here. But this is just showing my two screens, so I'm trying to figure out how to get it on here. Sorry. There we go.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Believe that fixed it, but YouTube's about 15 seconds delayed.
Yeah.
So you want Katie to bring up Plan
Okay.
4A or just
Plan,
4?
plan 4
Plan
first.
4, PA, Plan 4? This one?
Yeah.
Or copy of,
Copy of it. Is there not
That's
copy?
fine. The either way is fine. Yeah, that's it. What I did with this one is I tried to, I think I kept Georgetown Township just in 2 districts. Pretty sure I did on this one. And then I also, on this one, we had some discussion about Justin and Rhett's map at the last meeting, and there was some talk about taking South Park Township and making that part of the District 3 with the city of Holland and taking that out of District 1. I actually, with this map, kept South Park Township as part of Park Township and left the city of Holland alone because the city of Holland essentially is its own district. It fits the population criteria.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, we don't have to split up the city at all. So that's fairly simple. You get the same thing with District 5. I kept the city of Hudsonville together. It makes the districts in Georgetown look a little funny over there, but you got to keep the city of Hudsonville together if you can. So that's what I did there. And then District 8 is Allendale. That's again a district that just about draws itself because of the population and the lines and so forth.
Great.
What I did on this map is I did have some separation of a couple of the precincts up in the city of Grand Haven, which I didn't really like doing that. I wanted to keep the city of Grand Haven together. So after I did this map, I started thinking about that and thought, is there a way that I can keep the city of Grand Haven together, all the precincts there together? And this map is done all on voter precincts. It's completely drawn on the lines of the voter precinct lines.
So even, so excuse me, but Georgetown, is it precinct 8 and 9?
8 and 9.
Yeah, so is that the left-hand notch down there? In the
No,
brown?
I think if you can zoom in, Katie, actually, this is one as I was looking at these maps, Lee, one comment I want to make and just clarify as well if Manette is able to answer this question just to make sure. So if you can see right here, precincts 8 and 9, you can kind of see the outline of them. One thing that we were made aware of last week was that essentially the data that is in the state's database, which is obviously the data that's reflected here, is not reflective of a precinct boundary change that Georgetown Township made. And they made that change. Manette, I'm sure could give us the dates, but they made that change in order to affect the school district boundaries that she was just referring to. So basically it is that census block that Katie's outlining right there with the mouse. So like those blocks are actually part of precinct 9. Unfortunately, they're not in this database that way.
Okay.
So Manette and I actually had kind of an extensive conversation last week now, I guess it was last week, about that. So anyway, that was just one thing I was going to bring up to possibly see if, if we go with this map, can we potentially draw those blocks into
I think
District 6,
we
basically?
could do that by going in and editing, just using the census block editing option. We
Right.
could probably edit those right over into the other.
Mhm.
Hopefully it wouldn't throw off
And
the numbers.
I
the
don't
population
think the
numbers.
deviation would be that significantly affected, but we can definitely
Yeah, that makes
Look at
sense.
that, too.
See,
Okay.
and when I was doing these maps, I wasn't aware, I wasn't aware of
Right.
where actually the school district lines all lined up and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And I think one of the challenges I've had with this map, this system, is that it has a school district overlay, but it's unusable. Like
Yeah,
I can't.
I couldn't figure it
can't
out.
see
So
the boundaries.
I thought I'd bring these maps and then I was aware of the school district concerns
Right.
for the ballots and so forth. So I thought maybe if we got some maps that were close, we could tweak them a little bit to get to where we needed to be. But
Yeah.
And-
that
so
makes
this
sense.
map, that's pretty much all I want to say about this map. And as I got to think about it, I thought, I wonder if there's a way that I can keep the city of Grand Haven all together. So that would be map
This-
4A.
This one has Ferrisburg and Spring Lake and Grand Haven.
Most of Grand Haven. I
Yeah,
cut off the
but we
southern
had the
part.
same problem. We
Right, you
to
had the
cut
same
out
problem.
3.
So then I thought I'd go back and try to figure out if I could get Grand Haven all into one map. So I got another map 4A that's very similar, but I managed to keep Grand Haven all together.
Yeah, did you add Chester in?
No,
Take Chester out? Okay.
you can see what I did. Actually, 4A is a little bit tighter on the variances for population than this one was. So,
So you went over into Spring Lake though, a little bit on the eastern side.
I think I did, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
One other thing that Justin and I were talking about earlier this week is Holland Township has a similar precinct issue with school district boundaries, precincts 4 and 5 or something like that. And so, but those were the only two that we had to be really cognizant of, is the Georgetown precincts and the Holland Township precincts because of the school boundaries.
Yeah, I'm hoping we could just, by moving some census blocks around, maybe we could accommodate those
Yeah.
things. I hope.
I don't think it's that big of a variance in terms of the population there.
Okay. Well, there's that one. And then if we could switch over to 4A.
This is 4A.
Oh, this is 4A? Okay. So then if we kind of scroll up a little, and you can see in this one that I kept Grand Haven. That's that funny little part of District 10 that kind of goes down into District 9 there in the middle, up the top there, at the bottom of District 10, top of District 9. That keeps Grand Haven together.
How did you do that?
Just did it with the voter tabulation.
But I mean, you were able to keep Spring Lake, Ferrisburg, you didn't,
Yeah.
delete anything
I think
from
I
there?
did. I'm trying to,
and all of Grand Haven?
Spring Lake Township Precinct 5
yes,
Missing.
right there.
separated.
Okay,
Right,
that's what you
that got
did.
separated.
All
out.
right,
That's right.
okay,
That's how I did it.
all right.
So, I thought, we're supposed to try to keep cities intact if we can. That's one of the things we're supposed to do. As
And
far as contiguous and square and keep cities together and so forth. So that was my goal on this map. So yes, I did take part of Spring Lake there and
So where did
put
Spring
it
Lake
into
go? It went with
9.
9, okay.
Yeah. It's just another option for people to consider. Everything else on this map, if you could look at Georgetown again. I'm not sure if I switch anything around over there or not on this one. Doesn't look like I did. No, I think this is all pretty much the same except for what I did there on Grand Haven and Spring Lake. That's the
So-
difference between 4 and 4A.
And so in Zealand Township, you notched a little bit of Zealand Township into District 5, and then Park Township also has a notch into
Right?
District 2, notches into Park.
This one actually has a little bit tighter variances on the population than 4 did.
yeah, I was just looking at that. So for, in that Grand Haven split, it's interesting too. Obviously now Grand Haven is split between 2 districts. But in this map that splits Spring Lake instead, Spring Lake is also currently split right now into the district that is over the river there that includes, District 11. So that jurisdiction's also already split. But the population variance is tighter on the district, on the 4A, that keeps Grand Haven City whole.
Right.
So it's a little bit better in terms of
I guess it depends on,
variance
what's
in turn.
what's more important to you,
yeah.
keeping trying to keep as many of the voter tabulation districts or cities or townships together, or the population, or I think we have to consider all of those things and
Right.
do the best we can.
So, you know, our criteria are that it'd be a single member district, it's contiguous, it's compact and squares, practicable. No township is combined with any city unless needed to meet population standards. No townships, villages, cities divided only to meet population standards, and precincts divided only to meet population standards. So,
This doesn't divide any precincts at least.
right,
Except, no, right, it doesn't divide the precinct, just the township,
Right.
which is already,
And sometimes I don't know if there's any way we can do this without dividing something to get to
Yeah,
population
exactly.
standards. So,
it's either going to be city or a township, which is the most important to
Right.
keep together.
right.
Well, and the other thing, just to note too, Zealand Township Precinct 4 is also currently in another commission district. So
Oh.
Zealand Township is, and I just say that, I guess, for reference, because I think sometimes we have to split somewhere. But these jurisdictions are used to having two commissioners,
Yeah.
in terms of,
The other thing I was trying to do with this map too, was trying to keep the commissioners' districts as similar to what they are right now as I could keep them with both these maps. I'm trying to do that and try not to flip flop anything around and make, number 4 or 5 or 6, 5 or whatever. I'm trying to keep them as similar as I could to what we have now. But
Well, through the chair, with some adjustments to that Georgetown district, I really could support this 4A map. Next, I would be inclined to support my map. Could you bring up that Plan B, please? Because it's very similar to this, but I didn't have Grand Haven the same way that Lee does. And I appreciate his more because it keeps the city whole. So if you look at mine, I don't have precincts 3 and 4 in that Grand Haven. But if you scroll down, the Holland area, Park Township is left whole. Holland is left whole. I mean, we all know that's a district in itself. But if you go over to the Georgetown area, the same carve out would have to be done on my map as well.
it looks like you kept Hudsonville there, but I think on the right side of Hudsonville, the blue part, isn't that
Goes
Georgetown
down to
Township?
5.
Yeah, there's a precinct in the blue that's in Georgetown Township. That is Georgetown Township. Yeah.
Which can be easily manipulated the same way we could do with Lee's,
Mhm.
but to avoid a lot of back and forth, I think his 4A map is acceptable from my position.
Okay. Katie, could you bring up, I think it's my map price V1? Yeah, there it is.
One, but it's a copy of it, okay.
Yeah, so this one, Justin and I worked on this. He named it after, he gave my name, because he's probably got too many, but one thing that was important to me is because we have 2 units of government that are over the 26,000 standard, that's Georgetown and Holland Township. And so to me, it was important to look at splitting those up a little bit more, because they had more population than all the other units of government. That to me seemed like a place to be, but then, so now in this map, District 5 goes more vertically than it did horizontally and goes into Georgetown, and that's three different representatives there. So we were just trying to make sure some of that happened.
Were you saying that Georgetown on this map has 3 districts?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
3 representatives, I guess, not
Okay.
3 districts, but 3 representatives.
Commissioner districts?
Yeah.
Part of
3 different people would represent Georgetown.
Mhm.
District 5, District 6, and District 7. So. But I just want to throw that out because Georgetown and Holland Township exceed the 26,000 and no other unit of government did. It seemed to me to make more sense to split them. But it doesn't work out. It's just very difficult to get them to split well.
Yeah, it is challenging. It's a huge challenge.
I like Rhett and Justin's map from the last time, but I do like Lee's map because I think it's a little bit more compact. I think Justin and Rhett's map had a very long.
Yeah, and it took part of Georgetown, that little chunk of Georgetown to add some more. And
Mhm.
I agree with what you've been saying, that we shouldn't split it up into 3 districts if we can keep it together into.
Yeah.
And it also removed the southwestern end of Park Township, which most of us did not agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, there's a notch out for Park Township and Lee's map. So all of Park Township is not together. It's on the eastern boundary of,
Yeah, it was with Holland Township there.
yeah.
Yep.
So part of Park Township went into Holland Township on this map.
On District 2, that little
Okay.
notch right there.
And then
Zoom in just a
you
little.
kept that precinct 2 below the lake with City of Holland.
No, this is Lee's map now again.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So, but that was true, Lee? That,
Yes,
he put-
okay,
yes.
so I think that, yeah,
Yeah, it's just very difficult. And when I was first looking at Lee's map, I was like, how did he get such a nice, clean Holland Township line? Then realizing that was that park precinct. I mean, it's just very hard to,
but then you don't have enough in the other area.
Holland-
Right.
You gotta
Holland
carve out
Township-
something
Holland
else.
Township was very difficult.
oh, very difficult.
Obviously, from the shape of it. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another one where the precinct boundaries are shaped basically to mirror the school districts because they look just kind of crazy. But
Right.
the reasoning for that is to prevent those ballot splits, which I appreciate Manette and Danielle speaking to. I know that's an issue for all of our clerks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So one thing we discovered today was that the validation on the maps hasn't come through yet because GIS hadn't been, they needed the codes to validate the maps. So that needs to happen still. So last week we agreed to validate Tim's, Lee's 4A,
well, 4A is this week. The
Oh.
one I submitted last week was 2A.
2A,
Yeah.
okay. And Tim's Plan B. And then Justin. And Rhett's. So,
Was the DeBoer robot.
right. So that, I think, is now in place, the ability to validate. So would you want to add Lee's map and the 4A map to that?
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I like Lee's Plan
Mine
4A a
are
lot.
actually, mine's PA
4A,
Plan 4A.
yeah, I
And the other
really
one was
like the looks of that one.
PA Plan 2A. Those were the two.
okay, so one of the things though we should discuss is, do we fix those boundaries in Georgetown? And then also in Holland Township
Oh, yeah.
before we submit it for a validation.
Yeah, I
Just
think we
gonna-
should.
To show the commission the Holland Township issue that we have. Could you zoom in on precincts 4 and 5 in Holland Township, Katie? A little bit more. So Holland Township precincts 4 currently contains Zeeland Public Schools, and there is a, I'm gonna come over and use your mouse. Is that okay?
Yeah, I
Do you
don't know
know
where
do you
this,
know where this is?
I don't know where this split is here. I know where it is in
Sorry.
Georgetown.
Where's here? Okay. This area right here is in Zeeland Public Schools.
Okay,
So they have currently in the works, much like Georgetown, they just have not officially done it yet. They have in the works to put these blocks into precinct 5, which would make all of that area Zeeland Public Schools, would eliminate a ballot split. Right here, there's 260 people.
Which is not huge.
No. So again, that I feel like that's
We
possibly.
could switch that.
Sorry, no,
I
people can
forget
hear
what
me
our-
while I'm walking around.
where-
I feel like that's possibly an easy fix there too, that may not affect a whole lot, but would obviously keep it in conformity with the new precincts that are going to be created.
Yeah, looking at the variances, I mean, District 2 is already plus 5.3, so it would take that down a bit, just a little
Okay.
bit, which is fine.
Yeah.
And District 4 is at plus 3.8, and I don't think it's gonna take us up out of the
there we
Not
go.
range.
260.
Right.
Negligible.
Right.
A very
We could easily
small.
Do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I'll just ask, the Notch in Park Township, how many people are in that? Oh, that's gonna be a lot. Well, maybe not.
yeah, I think that's a pretty big one. I think that's got a lot of people in it.
A little bit up.
We're talking about the one up there in District 2, that notch, it comes into part, yeah, right there, that big chunk there. I think there's quite a few people in there.
Yeah,
But again, District 2 can afford to lose some population, but I don't know if we can afford to lose that much. And then District 1 is at minus 1.8, so I guess we could see what happens if we moved it over.
I think if we shift that over into District 1, it would balance out the variance of minus 1.8 and plus 5.3 in District 2. So the same way with Georgetown, I think just some type of modification to move so that we don't have the 3 precincts in Park Township. That section of the most eastern part of it there would be back in place with Park Township. But that's what 4604 says. We're supposed to try to keep everybody.
mhm.
Right.
Is this yours, Lee?
Yeah.
This is 4.
So
So,
there's,
and you had 3 districts in Georgetown?
No, I only have
Oh,
2.
okay. So
No,
he
I
did-
think, Tim, were you talking about moving the school district boundary ones around in Georgetown? And
Well, right
It's
now,
on
I'm just
mine.
focused on this Park
Okay,
Township.
all right.
So, yeah, between District 1 and 2.
well,
District,
oh, sorry, excuse me.
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, what the challenge is we're, the reference, the statutory reference about splitting jurisdictions is obviously except for population requirements. And we're splitting
Yeah.
every single map splits jurisdictions. There's no
No pure.
way to not split a jurisdiction. I think the question is how close in the deviation can you get? You know what I mean? What's the tightest deviation? And honestly, 4A, as I've looked at the maps that are available, is the tightest deviation we have of all of our maps.
well, right now, I think that I can copy this map and then I can go back in and edit 4A while we're sitting here right now, I think. And
Sure.
see if everything matches up. If you want to do that, if not take the time to do that, shouldn't take that long, assuming everything works.
That would be
right?
awesome.
Try it.
Yeah.
So I just copied Plan 4A just to kind of save it. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah, that'd be great.
There's 20, I was
It
just
works.
doing the numbers here. There's 2,397 people in Park Township Precinct 4.
That's a
Is that
lot.
right?
So that's
that's a lot.
a
Yeah.
lot.
It's
That
a
would
lot.
take
It's
us-
probably going to be too many, isn't it?
Well, and that's what I was just saying originally when I was looking, I was like, wow, how did Lee do that? And then I looked at the,
That's probably why I had to leave it there.
it was,
I
right.
don't remember exactly, but that's probably why I had to leave it there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But it's that way now,
no. It,
in the
No.
commissioner districts now?
No.
No, it's not.
our township now is all together.
Yeah, they did some messing around with a couple of their precincts. They deleted, they messed with 10 and 7, and I think they put them both into 4. I think that's why it's so big. Isn't that what they did, Justin?
And it look.
who's that?
Park, Park Township moved
Oh,
with 7 and 4 and 10.
well, they consolidated
Yeah.
precincts in
Yeah,
order to
so-
save cost and
Yeah, so it's a big
part of a-
precinct now.
geographically. Yeah, well, and I guess population wise is a little bit bigger. One of the things that we've been trying to encourage our clerks to do too with precincts, because of the big vote by mail volume that we're having, it's a resource. It's a draw on resources because we've got all these people voting by mail and we have fewer people in line at precincts. So there's an ability to expand that number a little bit in the precinct and save some resources. You know, now they're using equipment in absentee counting boards, which is needed and necessary because they consolidated those precincts. But yes, they're bigger now
Yeah.
than what they were. You're right. In terms of population.
I think on the previous district, it looks like Park picked up the bottom portion along Lake Nakatawa, but also had a portion of Holland City in with it in District 1. Because the boundary goes straight down, straight north-south, and the boundary for Holland and City and Park Township doesn't do that. It kind of jogs to the west. So we could only lose in that precinct that Lee is working with now to come up with the even number, about 1,600 people out of that precinct 4, but we may still be in the tolerance band.
Yeah.
We'll see, but that might be why it doesn't work.
Might be something I already done before. I just don't remember doing it. That's
Is your computer allowing you to do it?
okay. Yeah, I'm doing it right now. I just removed that block from District 2. And that took it down to minus 3.6. Then if I add that to District 1. See if I can get these added in to District 1 real quick and see where that puts us. Yeah, I'm doing it by census blocks because it's if I do it by precinct, it's not gonna work. I gotta do it by each one of these little census blocks.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience.
Feels a little like the
But do you
state
want-
districting right now.
Wouldn't it be
Watch the
worse
maps
to
being dropped.
split up a precinct than to have a precinct in a
Yeah,
different?
see what this was the problem there.
What-
It puts District 1 at plus 7.1, so it's.
Yeah, it's too big.
big.
Yeah, I'd rather not split up a precinct. I think that'd cause more trouble than,
Oh, I don't think we're not splitting up a precinct. All of precinct 4, Park Township would go into District 2. So there's no splits there.
Oh, yeah, that's why I had to have that little notch.
What does that bring the District 1?
It brings it to plus 7.1.
Okay,
and what's the parameter? 6?
5.9.
5.95.
Yeah,
Okay,
So,
okay, so,
The only way I just modified, I just messed around with Plan 4A. So I think the one we'd want to submit to GIS now, when I copied it, it copied as PA Plan 4A with one in parentheses, so parents one.
Okay,
That's the one we were all looking at that we wanted to send to them.
Okay.
Maybe modify and work on.
okay. So before we do that, do we want to correct on PA Plan 4A1, correct the
Yeah,
I think stuff in Holland and Georgetown?
Georgetown was just a 2 though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
And-
between 2 precincts.
So
and the
what
same
what
thing
did
in
we have
Holland
to
Township.
correct in Georgetown?
one little square section needs to go into the adjoining precinct.
Because the data in
Oh,
this
right.
map isn't reflective
Okay,
of the change
right.
they made to their precinct boundary. But we can certainly, yeah,
Can you
So
do
it's-
that, Lee?
and Manette,
Yeah,
tell me
I've
if I'm
gotta go
wrong, or
back.
tell us we're wrong on that,
gotta
But I
go
think it's
back
this
to
line
4A.
right there that Katie's,
Put this stuff back in. So we're- remove
Okay.
blocks.
Okay.
District 1.
So you take them out of 7 and put them in 6.
put it
right?
in 6. And that would make the precinct one whole commission district and the other precinct, the other whole commission district.
It's nice that people on this commission are so know all this stuff.
Yeah,
You know, that would be 2 different commissioner districts for Park, same school district. Okay. Holland Township would have 2 different commissioner districts. Zealand Township would have 2 different commission districts. Georgetown. Spring Lake.
I think,
How many of them already were in 2 different districts, though?
yeah, I mean,
Where's there-
multiples.
Yeah, we already had,
Holland City was.
and that's
City.
corrected.
Robinson Township, Spring Lake Township, Grand Haven City. Obviously, Georgetown and Holland Township still had 2.
Yeah.
Zealand Township is split.
So they
So there's-
already were split.
Yeah,
It's not like we're messing with.
right. And I think
it was.
the way I was looking at this map, at Lee's map, it's the fewest splits with the tightest percentage of deviation. And there are a couple of, jurisdictions that already have, with the exception of Park, and that is frustrating. I mean, it's just hard to know how to navigate some of this stuff, but Zealand Township already has a split there. Spring Lake Township already has 2 commissioners. So there's not a whole lot of new splits
Okay, so I have
other than Park.
4A back to where it was. So if you want to mess around with those school district lines.
Okay.
We can probably modify that right now if you want to.
The
One's over in
Georgetown one.
Georgetown, and there was another one, the Zealand, Zealand School District too, right?
Zealand, yeah, West Ottawa.
So can we,
Justin, can you, I can't remember which ones you were pointing at. We can do that one in District 4 first. So I
See
have
if
to
I
take
can-
something out of District 2 for that, right?
For
And which ones were
Georgetown.
they?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
that. You're drawing, yeah, okay, that's what Katie's drawing right there.
Right there. Okay, so it's one with one. Okay. I think I got it.
That's district.
Take that out. That out.
and that little tiny
Number 45 up there.
piece there is also.
And then there's a
in-
little tiny thing over
Yeah,
there. I got
that
it.
also
Stand with
goes
that
in.
one. Okay, so that is out. Okay, and then I have to add those to District 4.
Probably could.
So Justin, what are the numbers? You just said 45. What else are we looking at under that?
When I did the math on this one, I think it was 260.
I think it's,
No, I'm just, the
Oh, sorry.
numbers that they have on the map itself, like what I'm looking at says 45, 46, 175.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which of that do we need to move over to 4?
I've just done that. Katie, can you
Yeah, can you highlight
trace
that
those out again? See that?
all of
It's like
that
a
area.
rectangular block there
Yep.
containing those
All of
1,
those.
2, 3, 4 of those. I've moved them over on my map.
Okay.
And how does the variation look?
Variation's still good. We're still within the tolerances
Great.
for that.
If you
And
want,
then-
we can, maybe when we're done, we could share your map.
Yeah,
on the
then we'll
screen.
share it
Okay.
once I get this all done, sure. And then over to Georgetown, right? Catch up with me. Now, what were those areas over there that we wanted to carve out? Okay, let me find that. Okay, and is it just that square there? Okay, that's, I can do that. That's in District 7. That's for District 7. Okay, so it's. Okay, so let's start removing.
After all this, hopefully people won't look at it and go, wow, that's wonky.
well, we tried, I think we tried.
All right, so the problem here is I can't do a perfect little rectangle there because you see the one on the bottom left, it's kind of an L shape and it goes up and around. It's a very weird shaped.
Mhm.
Keep going down. It's next one down, the big, no, over to that right there. See how that one's kind of goes up and weird and goes up and around?
Oh, wow. That's a census block though, right?
Yeah.
Ha.
So I can either leave, well, that looks like that census block crosses over the school district boundary.
But
It's
the-
not this, it's above this line.
Can we? is
Oh,
it
just
possible to
above
have
that
Manette
line?
Speak
Just
to this
above
because
this line.
Oh.
she knows what.
We have
Oh.
a guest
Just above
commentator.
which-
Come on
which
up,
line?
Annette.
It's above this line, so that
Yeah,
L
it's-
shape shouldn't be included.
Oh,
It's,
It's this.
Not a
line.
precinct.
Up.
Right?
yeah.
Would it
Okay, so
help if
let
I
me-
gave you my map? If you follow the map, because it's not the whole thing, it's not the bottom part. And it does follow the school district lines.
Stop.
Oh,
Would it
The
help if you
precinct
had
lines,
this?
Right?
so
Yeah.
it
You-
stops
Why
at
don't
that
Sure.
line?
Yeah, I mean, if
give
you-
it to
Oh,
Katie.
let me add
She'll-
those back in. I thought you were tracing something else, so I'll add those
And
back
that's-
in. Hang on.
Is it that square, Manette?
yeah, my
Oh, that's
understanding
nice, okay,
Somebody want it right now?
that's better.
is that one square.
And that's a minus 4.6, so we're still good there.
And just,
This block, so that like little weird L shape. Part of precinct 8.
Yep, that's what I have now. And then I can add that into District 6. So if I have that back into District 6, let's see what we get here.
should note that both Georgetown, I think, and Holland Township have applied to change these precinct boundaries. They haven't had approval yet, but ask Justin,
That'd be tight.
is it the boundary commission? Who determines the boundaries, or Secretary of State?
For precinct boundary lines,
All right.
the election commission of the jurisdiction.
Ah.
So
5.5.
it's I don't think it's a matter of approval from the state. I think it's just a matter of the state has to have the data in their system in
That's
order for the
5.5 now,
qualified
6.
voter file to
And
reflect
7.
the boundary
Which
change.
So you're not really waiting on approval.
Minus 4.
No, it's already been approved.
Okay.
What we were waiting on, which I know is what came first,
If it helps
but
them out.
we're waiting for your lines, for your lines, so that when we
So
send it
there
into
it is.
QBF, we'd send the whole
Ah,
thing. So yes, ours have already been approved.
So
okay.
now let me stop editing and then you can share it and see what it looks like. Stop editing plan. So this is PA plan 4A again.
4A1?
Oh, wait a minute, it's telling me it's not valid. Blocks.
I'm having that same error.
I've done I got a block somewhere that's not assigned. I gotta figure out which one's not assigned. If it's up here or if it's down. Oh, there it is. No,
Isn't it, the left-hand side doesn't show you the sign on the district areas?
does it show you which one's not assigned?
I thought I found that when I was working on maps, that it will highlight what's not assigned on the, District 1, 2, 3. Scroll down.
Okay, so District 1.
Button that says show what's not assigned.
2. 6.
So go back up to where we got the,
Oh, what's that right there? Not assigned in District 6. Let me, what's this block? Let me see about this one. I don't know why that's blue like that. Unable to edit. Oh, I got it back to editing. I don't know what happened. Maybe I accidentally clicked on something. Let me check. I have to check out for editing. Maybe something happened right here. Why that's blue like that. There. Plan is valid. Yeah, I must have accidentally, clicked on something.
he carved out a little island. over
Yeah, I clicked on something. I didn't realize I'd done it. Okay, now we should be good. Let's see. EA plan 4A says it is valid. So, yeah. Okay, now we should be able to look at it.
It's good. Now I won't have to sue.
PA 4A1.
No, this one's just PA plan 4A. 'cause
Oh.
That's the one.
Okay.
That's the one I could go back in and edit.
Okay.
So we're back to PA plan 4A.
This one? Or is it the PA?
PA plan, not the A1. No, not the copy, because I think go down the list.
Yeah,
There's
it's at the bottom.
at the
Oh,
bottom.
it's not the copy of.
No, it's PA plan 4A, just up a couple, up. Right there.
Here it is.
You got it.
So that shows these changes that we just
Oh,
made.
yeah.
There, yeah, perfect.
And it's
Good,
still,
hey?
and it's still valid.
Put on the map layers, Katie,
Oh, yeah.
voter tabulation districts. Sometimes when you go back out, it changes that. I don't know why. Yeah, so that would reflect the new precinct 5 boundary. And that would help Holland Township quite a bit. Then Georgetown. I'll make sure that, oh yeah.
If I could through the chair.
Yeah.
I don't remember what her name was from
Annette?
Annette. Does this address your concerns?
Yes, thank you.
Great. Looking good.
I don't think it addresses Park Township's concern,
No.
but
Well, I think, yeah,
but the,
So if we remove that part of District 2 that's sticking out, it really throws the variance off.
yeah, you mean for Park Township?
Yes.
Yeah, it really does.
The Park Township is too large.
talk about that Western Hub knob, this,
Yeah, that was the one that was really 2,600 or something.
2397.
2,400.
I was playing with the map that had the precinct 1 of Holland Township with Park Township and Port Sheldon. That one was pretty good, but then you get into District 4 and 3.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you take that precinct 2 from below the lake and put it into the city of Holland, would that be enough to take that chunk up there back?
It's 1,200, I think we figured a couple weeks or a couple meetings ago, wasn't
I
it?
mean, what would be better? To put the one below the lake with the city of Holland and take that chunk back into Park Township? It would just be switching districts and precincts in Park Township. They'd still lose one. But what would be better?
I think you may exceed so that would be about
Hey.
27,800. District 2. Or District, on Lee's map, it's District 3. But you could try it, put Park low.
It's not as populous, so it's,
Park's been together, and the last time it was all together.
Yeah, Park must have gained some population.
so that precinct 2 is 1,231 people.
And the other one's 2,400. So the variance might work. So it's like, what would be better? To have that chunk of Park Township put back on there and put the below the lake one with the city of Holland? Or leave it the way it is?
Can we ask the Park Township Deputy Clerk? Or maybe Justin, you know, what would be
Yeah.
better? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's almost like with these kinds of questions, I mean, it's certainly, I would definitely be open to hearing Danielle's thoughts. I feel like in these kind of questions, it's like, what is the greater variance versus lower variance? I mean, if it gets down to splitting hairs in terms of what we're statutorily required to do, what does the variance look like in one versus another? Is it going to be,
Or is
I
it,
don't know. I
even
mean-
if it's within the variance, either scenario, what's best?
Yeah.
I mean, would the commissioner in that district prefer having that chunk of Park Township above the lake? Does he ever get down to below the lake?
Mhm.
I would, again, through the chair, ask the deputy clerk to
You want to weigh in?
weigh in on, and I apologize for being parliamentary in my questioning, but, normally I go through the chair. So if you want to tell us what you think would be the best, if we had to carve out any part of Park Township, what would your desire and wishes be?
Is it okay, Madam Chair?
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll obviously do whatever.
Would you mind, sorry, Danielle, the public can't hear with the, sorry.
We will obviously do whatever the commission asks us to do and do it to the best of our ability. Not being the clerk, because he would obviously have authority over me. I can see we're moving precinct 2 into that other district with the city of Holland. Maybe easier for us in that respect, but I know your job is very difficult. And again, we'll do whatever you guys ask us to do.
Thank you.
can I try one other little try? Holland Township Precinct 1, which I think is down on the lake. Right, that little notch by, it's probably not very populated. If we move that into park for District 1, does that help? And then remove the notch, but it's probably not very populated. Because there's a lot of, the Michigan State facilities there.
But aren't we trying to get rid of that notch? And by adding more to Park Township, I don't think that would,
No, but
Help.
what I was thinking is, let me think about this. Restore Park Township.
That gonna be your new slogan, the hashtag?
So that'd be about 2,700 people coming back in.
you'd still have to give something. Park Township has to give something away. It's got too many people.
Actually, it doesn't have too many people. Everybody else does. It's got 18,900
That's
something
18.
people. It's everybody else's and we're playing with, so I'm being very territorial, I guess.
Are you from
I'm from Park Township, yes. So I was just thinking, yeah, maybe that wouldn't work.
So should we vote on it?
I mean,
Well, we still have to validate it, so let's just see. Go try to validate PA plan 4A and not 4A1.
Right, yeah, now we're back to PA Plan 4A.
Okay,
and I do feel like there's a lot of consensus. It seems like there's a lot of consensus on, 95% of this. So maybe
It's just-
that's a really positive
Just
thing.
Below the lake or the other one, which one?
We can,
I'm for putting below the lake with the city of Holland. Because I just think it makes more sense.
yeah, I think I would be for whatever, keeping it within the scope of the statutory requirement of, 11.9%, 5.95 on one or the other. Which of those options would be the closest if we just swapped 4 and 2? Which is the closest in the deviation? But I know there's a million other things you could do as well.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm open.
Well, I mean, do you want me to modify this map once again and see what it looks like if I
You
did that?
Do
Did that-
below the lake?
Yeah, it did
Yeah.
the below
Yeah,
the
would you
lake and then
mind?
took out the one out of District 2 and put it back in District 1. I can.
Yeah,
I can
why
do
don't,
that.
why
That's
don't,
fine.
if you don't mind,
We could, I don't know if this is, I don't know what your preference is, Lee. We could get Lee to share his screen, right? If he. Oh, but he's not on the Zoom.
I'll check it out. Can I check it out for editing? Do we have to get out of it?
I closed out of it so you can read
Right,
it.
so I'll check it out for editing. And I'll just do it once. So it's like- so District 1, going to
Thank
remove books.
it's very interesting.
All right, so where's the lake? There
Bradley's doing it. Bradley's on the hot seat.
we go. Come on. Spinning. Yeah, there we go.
It would be kind of cool if we were done after tonight.
still have to
Just for
validate.
What?
We'd have to validate with
Yeah, but I
GIS.
mean, it would be nice if we all were in
Yeah.
agreement on a map that we could all live with. Oh, that would be nice.
Holland Township currently has 2 commission seats. My map would make it 3.
For Holland Township?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we were able to put Georgetown in too.
Hey, little things.
Yeah, that's a big, it's a win, especially because they have grown.
Yeah, but I think a lot of the growth went into Jamestown, didn't it?
And the whole region there is-
All right, so.
I have shared, some treasurers have shared with me pictures of when they've done this redistricting or this reapportionment, and they're just on the floor with huge maps. Just moving chunks of, townships. So you can tell how far we've come.
Physically?
Physically.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's old school, but tells you how, we're just sitting here now with the computers and it's making all the changes and
Yeah. It's pretty impressive. I just wish we had some mood
Yeah.
music to offer while these.
Yeah, some of it is, it's just sometimes it takes the computer a few seconds to catch up. with you.
Yeah, you
Can't
notice
even-
that too, a program, sometimes it's slow.
I can't get on my computer, won't let me.
Yeah,
Even get
Jamestown
on.
went up 37%.
Yeah, that's huge. Georgetown's like 15.
What?
15.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think they were the fastest growing, right, Jamestown?
Well, percentage wise, maybe not number wise, but yeah, for Georgetown to be at 54,000, it's incredible.
But I think that thing is.
Okay.
um,
So that's good. That puts District 3 at plus 3.5.
Yeah, I was working off of it too. And then that one meeting where Justin and I weren't having the same numbers, I went back and
And it changed. They
I
said
think
there's
it
no
was
figures.
preliminary data. And so
All
what
right.
was loaded into the system was the.
And I didn't have a copy of that one. Oh, well, it's close.
I think it's real close. I mean, I think there's like a couple of jurisdictions where the numbers might have been updated
Yeah, I think like.
after that was printed or something.
Mhm. Like Park Township picked up about 300 or 400 and. I was just trying to figure out why was I so off, and then that's what happened.
So what do you have for Jamestown?
So for instance, like that sheet says Park Township has 18,625, but in reality they had 18,905.
Okay.
And then Spring Lake Township, instead of 12,799, is 15,296. So that really kind of.
Yeah, that's a big difference right there.
Yep.
So this is- oh, there's that. Oh, I see what it is.
Danielle, precinct 2 in Park Township is Holland Schools, right? So.
Yeah, that makes sense
Oh, come
then.
on.
Mhm.
Hopefully it works out. Make it work, Lee.
This is not all blocks are contiguous. No, I'm thinking I might have missed something.
That's a good point. You didn't think of that, Justin.
I don't know.
Slacking off over here. I don't know. Just looking at maps.
Right?
How many people are online, Katie?
On Zoom, there's currently one.
Hmm.
YouTube, there were 6 and now there's 4.
Thanks.
Says not all blocks have been assigned. There's something I'm missing here. Figure out which one it is.
Will it not let you just reassign the whole precinct, Lee?
Well, I was doing these by census block.
Census block is different than the precinct, right?
Mhm.
All right, so that one's good. That one's good.
Yeah, because you have to go in each
Something
one
is
of
telling me
these
something's not-
little
not all
squares.
blocks have
For
been
the
assigned.
census block.
They're all
Where you get
assigned
them
in
all.
one.
Right. And some of them are very tiny.
Go back and check, right?
Yeah, and I think it's part of the validation process too, that
Make sure that we have all the precincts together.
Oh, I don't know what happened here.
But we gotta make sure the whole precinct is there to be able to make a decision on whether, what the variation is.
This, is there something in this program that will tell you what block has not been assigned? Because I can't find one that hasn't been assigned. It's telling me something hasn't been assigned, and I have no clue what it is.
you know what, is it the, I don't know. 'Cause I was having an issue with the lake, even though it's 0. Considered a census block, but it looks like yours is assigned.
I don't see any space in here.
Had that too, where it validate again, and it has to catch up or something.
Oh, it's valid.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it is valid. Just had to, it didn't keep up with me. So
Oh.
I hit validate again. So, okay, yeah, I think we're good then. So plan 4A, you can put it up there. I'll stop editing, you put it up there and see what people think of that.
The numbers look good.
Yeah, the numbers are fine.
The whole precinct is there.
District 6 is right up there, like, ooh,
Yeah,
but
And that's just because of that change we made for the school district boundary. But it's still within,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks good. Got the notch out of Park Township and added more to City of Holland area, with the school district being the same. Looks like a win.
And everything, I mean, this version validates, it looks like.
Thanks for doing that, Lee.
Now, this model, I'm not gonna be able to support. I will go back to the Park Township 4, the original carve out, and not the addition on to Holland City. I just want the record to reflect that.
Let me ask you this question. Should we validate PA Plan 4A and this version, which would be PA Plan 4A I don't know, 0.1?
well, this is PA Plan 4A right now.
Oh, okay.
So I can go back. If we copy this, let's see what that, I'm gonna copy this plan right now, and let's see what they call it.
And Tim, can you share the reasoning why you wouldn't support this version, but you would support the other version?
I still, based on my email that I shared, by the addition of that portion of Park Township, it puts a political disadvantage on the Holland District 3. With the Park Township 4, it just makes that whole area competitive. And one of the rationales is that the boundaries will not be drawn to give a political advantage or to dilute a political position. And I've tried to stay away from that and just draw fair and equitable maps. And I think this one would be a disadvantage to the commissioner in District 3.
Thank you.
So
I'm gonna be copying this.
what we've got, we copied as PA Plan 4A1 again. So we have two copy of PA Plan 4A1s. One of them shows the one that Tim would support, that notches out, that notch out of Park Town. Yep. And leaves the area below Lake Macatawa as part of Park Township. That's one of them. And then there's, and I don't know why it won't let me edit the name. And then the other copy of Plan PA 4.1 in parentheses shows the one we just looked at, that we changed it to.
So there's two identically named
Yeah,
maps. but
and
they're-
I can't edit the
they're different.
names.
Huh. That is
I
frustrating.
don't see either
A little
one of
confusing.
those.
We can try to
If you go
distinguish
down the
them when we
list,
send it to
they're
Rob.
more in the top half of the list. They're not at the bottom. More in the top half. It's you'll see, if you go down the list, copy of PA Plan 4A1, and there's two of those.
I only see one.
I got two on my computer.
Yeah, sometimes it takes it a minute to refresh, so I wonder if it'll
Oh, yeah, that's
call
right.
one.
That's right. It does
parentheses.
take some time. There's a
Yeah.
lag.
Right, if I click on the one, it's the one we just did, the one that we just modified. The other, it's the one prior. Oh, let's see. Did we just change something? No. Oh, yeah. There.
Do you still have it checked out?
Plan for a stop rating plan. Okay, good. And the other one,
What is,
oh, and then plan.
what is the difference between copy of Plan 4A and copy of Plan 4A, parentheses 1? Oh, I guess the
4A doesn't have the Georgetown and Holland
precincts, okay. Gotcha.
Plan 4A, okay? Plan 4A has the Georgetown School District fix and the Zealand School District fix. And right now includes Park Township below Lake Macatawa. That's Plan 4A as it currently is.
Okay.
And that, and it takes that little notch out of, removes that notch from Park Township. And that's the one that Tim does not support.
Right.
That's PA Plan 4A. Then one of the PA Plan, copy of PA Plan 4A, 1 in parentheses. On the list there, if you see that. All right, so there's 2 copy of PA Plan 4A 1s on the list. The second one on that list,
The one that's checked out.
yes, that does not have those changes that we made to the school districts.
You check it back in, does it rename it?
One other thing we could do too, when we submit it to GIS for validation, we could give them separate names that way. Just as long as we know we're all on the same page with what the differences are in the 2 maps, I guess.
Yeah.
That is strange because you wouldn't think it would name it the same.
Apparently I had 2 copy of plan, something there, 8 or 1 in parentheses, 2 of those too, so. Well, as Lee's trying to do that, let's talk about the criteria we're supposed to be meeting under the statute. And so single district, single member districts nearly have equal population as practicable. All districts must be contiguous. All districts should be compact and as a nearly square shape as practicable, depending on the geography of the county area involved. No township or part thereof shall be combined with any city or part thereof for a single district unless such combination is needed to meet the population standard. Townships, villages, cities shall be divided only if necessary to meet the population standard. Precincts shall be divided only if necessary to meet the population standard. Residents of state institutions who cannot by law register as in the county's electors shall be excluded from any consideration of representation. Districts shall not be drawn to affect partisan political advantage. So, any thoughts on that? Because it's listed in an order, and I kind of go by that order, single member, contiguous, and that the order may be indicative of what's most important. I don't know, that's what I read into it, but anybody have any thoughts about this plan for a in terms of the criteria that we've been discussing? Does it, as you
So-
look at it, does it look like it meets that criteria?
So school districts are not considered.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, I think I would be more inclined to support whatever of those options is the narrowest population deviation. You know, I think when it comes to these close calls in terms of, well, I mean, 6 1 half dozen the other, because that is part of our statutory criteria.
Because this gets submitted to the state and then the state can review it. And if we don't meet that criteria,
Right.
comes back.
Or obviously we're subject to litigation
yeah,
based on the statutory criteria.
right.
I don't know what one of those maps is closer, but I think that's what I would be taking a look at
Okay.
in terms of, you know, following the statute as closely as we can.
I will say from the previous version, the current district map, we are much closer to that square as practicable
Yes.
standard that the statute calls for. And, you know, in the current district map, there's a lot of what I call catty corner. You know, Grand Haven Township with Olive Township, Blendon Township with Jamestown Township, and I think we've kind of eliminated a lot of that. Some of it's been helpful because the units themselves have the population criteria that we need. We didn't have to do a lot of that. Robinson, for instance, is with Allendale, and Allendale's just increased in population so much that it can stand alone. So,
Same with Holland City, I think, too,
Yeah.
right?
yep.
Uh.
Okay,
So I think what I hear Tim saying is, do you believe that taking that part of Park Township and adding it out of the city of Holland, is that something that you see as being done for partisan political? Is that your objection to it?
That would be my objection.
Okay.
And based on the deputy clerk's through the chair comment, and she made it clear she's not the clerk. I think the Park Township 4, that hub that we had, doesn't create a partisan scenario. That's why I would be in support of the original 4A with the modifications of the Georgetown area. Because those numbers, as you said earlier, Justin, were tight, and that still are. Flipping that down to below the lake, that was the original concern when I sent that email. So
the notch out for Park
No.
Township is still all West Ottawa schools. Okay,
Yeah, I'm frozen out right now.
yeah,
I see you're all on the site. I can't get on the site again, but
Yeah.
maybe they tell me I used it too much.
probably turn the
yeah, we're probably
Wi-Fi
using the
on.
Anyway,
Wi-Fi.
625.
Yeah, I kind of like the plan that Tim said he could support because the population numbers are tighter.
Okay.
They are.
So I could support that plan as well.
Okay, so that, we would call that Plan 4A, right? Or is it 4A?
Yeah, well, let's.
I have to get back in, I have to get back in there to see because it's got me frozen out. It won't
Yeah,
let
but
me
I
in.
think we could just, because that's what my objection is, so we can make that PA Plan 4A Park Township 4.
With the Georgetown precincts and the Holland Township precincts.
Exactly.
Everything corrected.
And then maybe tomorrow we can get on there and somehow figure out, send out copies of that. And then, so I'm just asking you again, is that the one we have? Validate 2A Tim's Plan B, the DeBoer Roebuck Plan, and then
I
Plan,
don't think we need.
PA Plan 4A.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the things that we've discussed tonight are kind of.
Eliminated. Yeah, I think we can eliminate the Roebuck, the board plan,
Okay,
because these, I like these better.
okay,
Yeah, I mean, I could
We've corrected a
get
lot of
behind
stuff.
those for sure.
okay, so now I'm hearing 2A, Plan B, and 4A, Plan 4A.
I don't know that 2A, because Lee, wasn't your 2A the one where the voter tabulation districts weren't
Yeah,
considered?
we
in
don't,
the-
we don't need 2A anymore. You're right.
Okay,
So really it would only be two.
Tim's Plan B, and then
4A
4A.
Park Township 4.
Yeah.
What we all know as the Georgetown modification.
Right, in Holland Township. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Do you
And-
still want your Plan B validated though?
Do
Because,
you- I
okay,
just want to make sure we're reflecting this in the minutes too,
Yeah,
because Sherry's.
yeah, when you guys get done, I wanna just go over this with you.
okay, so we're gonna ask GIS to validate Tim's Plan B
Okay,
and then PA Plan 4 with Park Township Precinct 4 in District 1, the Holland Township School District boundaries noted and split, and then Georgetown precincts noted and split.
okay, it was the PA Plan 4A, right?
Or Plan 4,
No, 4A.
Okay, 4A, that's what I have down.
okay.
But that's with
With the
With
Park
Lee.
Township 4 precinct.
flipping that
in
tomorrow.
District
Yeah,
one.
I think I copied it. If I could see the list again, I could probably tell you exactly
Well, I
what it's
could, I
called.
got.
Oh,
it.
you got
Let me
blocked
just
Got
look
it now?
I just can't get on. I froze it
Just
up
wonder
for
if we're
some reason.
using too much bandwidth or something, I don't know.
All right, so this is your.
I'm just gonna say to the audience, I hope you guys all come back, because this is a fun,
That's back to Georgetown.
maybe we should have
That one's actually
refreshments.
called copy of PA Plan 4A. So that's the one not validated. Copy of PA Plan 4A. Because it's
Okay.
different than PA Plan 4A.
Copy of PA Plan 4A.
Right. That's
Copy of PA Plan 4A with the Park Township 4 precinct in District 1.
And the 2 goes back with Park Township.
Yeah.
Precinct 2 goes back above the lake with Park Township. Okay, all right,
That's how it's on the map.
Okay,
yep, okay.
okay, so we'll get that done for those over there tomorrow. So our next scheduled meeting, I think, was next Thursday. And, well, let me take it, do we need to vote on these to get validated?
it doesn't hurt. I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
let's have a vote that we're going to ask GIS to validate Tim's Plan B and the copy of PA Plan 4A with Park Precinct 4 in District 3. Holland Township precincts pulled or separated for schools, and then Georgetown Township delineated. That sound right? Okay,
Can you say that? I didn't, the first part.
so we're gonna vote or have a motion to have Tim's Plan B
Right.
validated along with the copy of PA Plan 4A, which pulls Park 4, Precinct 4 into District 3.
No.
No?
2.
2.
Two.
Okay. I'm just, and then the Holland Township precincts separated and the Georgetown Township precincts or voter districts delineated per our discussion. All right?
Pretty
Okay.
close.
Yeah.
Okay,
makes sense.
okay. So I would ask for someone to make that motion.
So moved.
I'll write down Tim and then could I have support for that? So any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, same sign. So the motion carries. Okay, so our next meeting date is next Thursday, I believe. 28th. 5 o'clock, and we will have the validation results. And then Justin and I will talk about if we do come to a determination of this is our map, what's the process by which we send it off to the state? And maybe your office knows that.
I think we're charged with that in the statute, so we do
Okay,
figure that out for sure. Make sure that we
Okay.
have the right information.
there's got to be some, just attach it and send it. And just- and we must have to sign something, but
Seems like it should be signed somewhere. but
Yeah.
We'll make sure we get the right information.
and I do wonder, do you have to submit all your minutes? Do you have to, I don't know what else you have to do with that, so.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're on to our second public comment period. Annette,
I just want to thank each of you for all your hard work, listening to our requests and working hard to accomplish it. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. Anyone else?
As the only returning. Um, Last time around, I had a lot of questions. I wrote down a bunch of notes. I got some of them answered along the way, and then I misplaced my notes or they all got answered.
Who are you, sir?
As I
who are you?
didn't hear that, so.
David, could you give us your name and address?
I'm sorry, yes, David Barnoski, West Olive, voting in Port Sheldon Township. This time I would like to ask, is there a way to officially submit written comments? So I know that's available on the state. If it were receiving communications were a part of the agenda, it might be all you'd need. But then I can write it all up and send it rather than to one. I was going to send it to one member. I could send it to all of you and
We've had a
then
few
I'm-
communications like that from the public, so that's
So-
perfectly
then I
fine.
would not forget.
Good. Any,
If I could, David, most people that are submitting comments or input sends it to the chair and then she disseminates it to the.
I realized I should do what I was gonna do, so that's why I stopped.
anyone else for public comment while they're in the room? Anyone online, Katie? Okay. With that, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
No move.
Thank
Support.
you. And so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, cool. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks, Tim.
Yep, we'll see you next
Thank you,
week.
guys.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good meeting.